Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that was going through a tough negotiation with what they considered to be a manipulative and quite calculating person. And that wasn't really their nature. Their nature was to be more empathetic and kind of go with the flow. But they were aware that that wasn't necessarily the qualities of the person that they were interacting with. They were strategic in other parts of their life relating to work and working with their clients, but not really interaction or strategic interaction with kind of personal relationships and things like that. And therefore, they wanted to feel less emotionally invested and to be a bit more strategic and objective with how they thought about these things to increase the probability of getting what they wanted. And sometimes they felt that the game was like too much hassle to kind of play in the past, and they were reluctant. Avoidance was a coping strategy in the past, and they didn't really want to feel that way. They wanted to feel more confident and fearless interacting with these kind of difficult, challenging circumstances. So it uses a good metaphor for strategy, which is chess. And the great thing about chess as a metaphor is you don't have to know anything about the rules of chess or the strategy of chess. It just works as a metaphor for this idea of moves and counter moves and having a game plan. Most people will even, in the same way that people use sometimes baseball or football analogies or poker analogies, quite often people will use chess analogies in describing interactions. They'll say things like, you need to think 2 moves ahead or 3 moves ahead. And that's a chess analogy, even though people clearly aren't playing chess. So it uses this kind of giant 3-dimensional chessboard as a symbol to have an element of objectivity and optimal, almost game theory in a way, but how do you optimize for the results that you want? Now, with human interactions, you can't ever guarantee you get what you want, but you can influence how you get what you want. And part of that is being clear on what you do want. One of the first rules of negotiation is know what your outcome is. What do you want to do? And if you're not clear on that, generally, where someone with clarity and a plan meets someone with, let's say, a go with the flow attitude and not with a plan, it tends to go more in the direction of the person that has that clarity and that strategy. And that doesn't have to be manipulative or calculating. It's just called, preparation or forward planning. But having that element of balance where you're very clear on what is good for you, but good for the people that matter. And generally speaking, there's 2 ways of looking at kind of games in a metaphor for life. One is called a zero-sum game. A zero-sum game is this idea that in order for one person to win, someone else has to lose. And that's not a great analogy. There are certain situations that are like that, but relatively few. And then there is a different way of looking at games, and that is almost this win-win outcome where everyone benefits from playing a game. And if you look at, let's say kids playing in a park together and they're playing on swings or slides and that kind of stuff, that's not a competitive game. And all of the kids are better off than if they didn't play the game, because they're all getting joy and fun and interaction and all these social skills. So this idea that in order for someone to win, someone else has to lose, I think is based on a scarcity mentality, and it's correct in certain contexts, but certainly not all contexts, and much better to have the initial frame of reference that there is an optimal outcome where everyone benefits, because sometimes that is the case. And if you can find that, generally negotiation or interactions become easier because there is no downside. Everyone comes out in a better place. If you feel like a bespoke hypnosis session could be useful for you and where you are in your life right now, there will be a link in the show notes as well as on my website, adamcox.co.uk, where you can schedule a completely free consultation call to explore working with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow yourself to let go of any stress, tension, worries. Feel it melting away and leaving your body as you breathe out. Notice tension leaving your body, and as you breathe in, notice an increasing feeling of relaxation, almost like simply by breathing in and breathing out, you're becoming deeper and deeper relaxed. Scan your body for any clues of tension, maybe in your forehead, jaw, neck, shoulders. Become aware of any subtle sensations that might be giving you clues that you're holding on to a feeling that isn't useful here and now. Maybe you can let go of concern, hesitation, or maybe expectations. Just allow to release all that does not serve you now. And as you release that and breathe in that resourceful feeling of relaxation, allow your mind to take you to a place of pure relaxation. Maybe you could imagine a beach or a meadow or even a lake. But I want you to add something. I want you to imagine a giant chessboard in that relaxing location. And you could imagine all of the different pieces, but imagine them life-sized. Imagine seeing the pawns that may be as high as your waist, and maybe the knight, the rook or the bishop coming up to your shoulders. And on this giant chessboard, I want you to imagine that you are the king. Imagine standing on that particular square that represents the position that the king would normally be in. And as you look across the chessboard, I want you to see a familiar face of someone there standing on the Queen's spot. As you breathe in and breathe out, just imagine what it would be like to play three-dimensional chess in real life. And I want you to imagine the opponent has a particular idea of something that would represent winning for them. And maybe they would be happy that if they won, then you lost. And the purpose of this game is to simply increase the probability of securing what you want. Maybe an outcome, a goal, a way of being or doing, and hold that thought in your mind. And it may be the case that the opponent is looking at this game of chess as a zero-sum game, that in order for them to win, you must lose. But I want you to think of a different outcome, that winning means everyone wins. But in particular, you influence what increases the probability of securing what you would like to happen. And maybe this chessboard is there on a beach, surrounded by long grass in a meadow, or just floating above a lake. Whatever comes to mind is exactly where you should be, as you feel that by being away from reality, you have a level of objectivity. Sometimes you can see things for what they really are when you look at it from a different perspective. But before you start this game of chess, I want you to think of a time and a context in your life that you were particularly strategic. Maybe it was in a working environment, helping a client to do something that would be beneficial for them, that you were able to connect the dots in a way that other people couldn't see, and in doing so, helped achieve a desirable result for someone else. And I want you to see that version of you being strategic. Notice how you are, see how you are, facial expressions, body language, breathing rate. And imagine stepping into that version of you and traveling back to the square on the chessboard that is the king's position. That you are now playing this game of chess at your most strategic. Breathe in, breathe out, feel increasingly relaxed. The deeper you breathe, the deeper relaxed you become, as you feel a deep sense of calm and confidence as you enter any negotiation or any interaction, fully prepared to engage with clarity and purpose. Feel that you can easily recognize manipulative tactics, observing them with detachment and responding with thoughtful, strategic choices. Imagine requests as moves, and you have an ability to have a counter move. Each time you encounter an unreasonable request, you effortlessly maintain your composure, turning the situation to your advantage with grace and intelligence. And maybe you could imagine challenging negotiations or interactions as a psychological chess game where you play fearlessly, always thinking several moves ahead. And notice how your mind can sometimes think of things as a game of chess and sometimes as a game of rugby. Moves and counter moves, positions, tactics. Your mind is clear and focused, allowing you to think pragmatically and creatively to navigate towards favorable outcomes. And you can harness your innate strategic thinking, applying it seamlessly across all aspects of your life, from work to personal interactions, enhancing your decision-making process. That you communicate your needs and boundaries with unwavering confidence, knowing that your voice and perspective are valuable and deserving of respect. Notice how easy it is to find yourself playfully engaging with challenges, turning potential conflicts into opportunities for win-win solutions, and feel that internal strength and resilience that allows you to stand firm against manipulation, protecting your interests and the interest of those that you love with assertiveness and wisdom. Your strategic mind can effortlessly identify the true needs and motivations behind manipulative requests, enabling you to navigate the conversation towards mutual understanding and respect. Feel that you can create a mental barrier, like a suit of armor, that manipulative tactics cannot penetrate, keeping you focused on your objectives and maintaining your inner peace. With every breath, you feel more empowered to assert your rights and desires in any negotiation, confidently steering the conversation towards win-win, equitable solutions. The more you play, the more adept you are at redirecting manipulative energy into constructive dialogue, fostering an atmosphere of collaboration rather than confrontation. And your ability to maintain a playful yet pragmatic approach infuses even the most challenging interactions with a sense of ease and possibility. That you can skillfully apply your strategic thinking to de-escalate tensions, transforming potential obstacles into stepping stones and potential problems into even more desirable outcomes. And maybe what starts off as a game of chess ends up as a very different game, where there is no loser and everyone wins. Feel that you are enhancing a sense of empowerment, fearlessness, strategic acumen, and resilience, helping you navigate through complex interactions with confidence and integrity. Feel it growing inside you, and then imagine over the next few days and weeks things happening as as you would want them to happen. Some people call strategy starting with the end in mind and working backwards. In which case, decide right now how you would want things to be and allow your unconscious strategic abilities to subtly influence things towards that outcome. Breathe in, breathe out, and feel there is no checkmate. More a sense of things have shifted towards how you want them to be. See the chessboard dissolve into the sand, the meadow, or the water in the lake, and feel that you're returning to the present. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, fully connect in the present moment. As very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, empowered, fearless, with a playful attitude to influence things as you want them to be. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.